We are going to pick right back up where we left off. Praxis and Izzy's eye. You have re-entered Deva HQ after hours. But Praxis, you're under the guise of the... Well, we'll just call it what it is. Random Blackfire security member that you met at the bar, pilfered his card while Izzy was pretending to be drunk. So, straight to the elevator?
Absolutely.
What floor are you hitting?
They had the two, didn't they?
They have several floors that they have specific access to. They have, hold on, obviously access to their main lobby floor, which is floor number 18. They also have access to floor 19. They have access to floor 21 through 30. Also 33 through 39. And access to the 52nd floor.
Okay, so which of those is like their main administration officers?
That would be floor 18.
Okay. So floor 18 it is.
So, as you enter the elevator and head to floor 18, the doors open and you are met by two individuals standing at the door. I don't want to, it would be weapons down, but they are completely armed. And I'm just going to randomly generate a name here. Clark. Clark. What are you doing here? Your shift ended.
I just need to check something, potentially.
They give you a rather dubious look. You know we don't run on the bare minimum here.
Fully aware. Don't worry, I'll keep this one off the books. Won't claim the overtime.
They both look at you very suspicious, but they do step aside. Go ahead and give me a Wits plus Empathy here.
Wits 3. Oh, that's not Wits 3. 1.
Get the distinct sensation that even if they don't follow you directly, eyes are on you.
Of course.
Now, you're somewhat familiar with the setup of this room, thanks to Maven's previous foray into this room, seeing through the eyes of one of the janitorial staffs. It looks very much like a war room, but even to the point where it has this gigantic center console where they have a world map laid out on what is essentially a Microsoft table, you know, that gigantic table that has the touch things. They essentially have that in the center of the room. They have different pins marked all over the globe. You're not sure what the colors mean, but you assume that these are probably locations, bases of operations of that nature. You're not entirely sure what, like, the red pen means, the blue pen, the yellow pen, so on.
Bearing in mind I've taken on this guy's life for the time being.
Yeah, for 2 hours.
Do I know if he's got like a cubicle or an office in this section as well, or if there's something I can use?
There is not assigned seating, so to speak. More so, this is obviously the security hub. A lot of these individuals, if you're at the security hub, that's where your shift is, so to speak. If you don't have the security hub, a lot of times you're out actually stationed on a floor or patrolling. So it's more, if there's an open seat, there's an open seat, you take that seat. All of them are linked together. All the computers there have the same capabilities.
So I will find I want to find a quiet corner with an unused computer, and I want to first go through this guy's emails.
Okay. Is there something specific that you're looking for?
Anything which is obviously anything that's need to know, and potentially anything that's expanding outwards to any larger operations. What do they know, and specifically, what do they know about us and well, not us per se, but the previous event that obviously resulted in everyone getting, or the majority of the workforce being laid off.
All right, so majority, I'll kind of do this in reverse order. The majority of the workforce being laid off, they don't seem to be that interested in it, Blackfire in of themselves. Everything that you're kind of seeing in the email, they're not necessarily security for corporate espionage type threats. They seem to be much more focused on physical threats. Elimination.
Anything that should be setting off alarm bells right now regarding us. And
not regarding you. However, there is one email that does a large contingent of Blackfire are currently escorting a redacted thing from Rio, Brazil to the headquarters. However, that's not suspected to come in for another time, for an indeterminate amount of time. They aren't sure of the safety of the item, and they want to do a few field tests before they bring it in. So there's not an estimated date of arrival. They don't know how long these tests are going to take. But there is something that you're looking at. There's about 15,000 individuals in Blackfire. We're looking at a contingent of about 100. So it's, well, not a majority of their force. For a force of that size, that's not a small number to be committing. Especially to the delivery of an item, which is why it kind of sends alarm bells.
Okay. So, second thing was the anything about the operation at large, and what is their knowledge, if any, or understanding on the supernatural?
Most of that is more circumstantial. There are several different missions going on in the world at this moment. There is references of them training soldiers in Sri Lanka how to identify and eliminate, they use the term bloodsuckers. And there's other references here and there, but they are relatively sparse. You don't find anything referring to Unchained or anything that would say that they have anything beyond surface level knowledge and maybe elimination tactics.
Okay, and
however, with that being said, they are able to train other people on those elimination tactics, so they that would lead you to assume that their tactics work. So you could probably imagine how a fight with these guys might go should they be able to identify.
Of course. And
however, it's at this point. Give me a perception.
okay. One again.
You would obviously already be aware that there's a camera facing every computer and the back of everybody's head. However, with a quick glance over your shoulder, you're able to tell that this camera is zoomed in.
Okay.
The lens has, tightened, and so you probably, well, it's up to you how you make up that information.
So what I will do is go to the top of the thread and top of the email inbox or anything like that, and I will respond to a couple of messages, pretty nondescript responses that haven't been replied to, just saying that I've received this and I'll
get back to it.
Respond to you at my earliest convenience.
All right. That doesn't take too much time. Now, as for the subject, this probably, I would say probably only takes about 10-20 minutes to do all of this. Most of it's reading rather than the actual responses.
Signing it to memory, but good old faithful.
Having read through the emails, and nothing else really seems to be sticking out in the emails. It's your standard sit rep reports and the like, a lot of military jargon. But as with a lot of military things, they say a whole lot of words that could be just like 3 words. Nothing else seems to stick out in the email.
Is there this redacted item being transported from Rio? Also, is there a project name for it? Like Operation?
No.
Okay.
At least not at this time.
And with that in mind, I think I have as much as I can use at this point.
So I'm going to direct a question to Iz. Where would you want your eye placed? It's an odd question, I know, but...
Oh, it's a good question.
Or on top of the camera.
It has to be a place where it's useful, but not easily seen, because I'm pretty sure that'll scare people.
Who left their eye here?
Can I move? Is it like...
Eye. I don't think it has little legs.
Eye. So it's like, is it like hand from...
I'll get back to you on that. I'll get back to you on that. I can't confirm or deny that at this very moment.
Huh.
Because there are other floors that Praxis has access to, so it doesn't have to be this floor. The 19th floor is the security hub, level 1. The 52nd floor is security hub number 2. The 21st through 30th floors are marked as low security research labs, and the 30 through 39th floor are the low security storage units.
I'll go with the storage unit. My eye rolls.
Well, you would be in the pocket of Praxis at this moment, so Praxis would have to facilitate that
You feel the eye move
in your pocket.
in your pocket.
So yeah, I will take it out and place it, and just sort of place it with a few other objects as well, so it just hopefully blends into the scenery a little bit.
All right. You are followed once you reach whatever floor it is, because this is a series of floors 33 through 39.
Mm-hmm.
You are followed. So I am going to need a... we'll do... First, it's going to have to be dexterity plus stealth to actually break line of sight for a moment, and then followed by dexterity plus larceny.
Dexterity stealth. That's one success on the stealth.
Let me roll their perception because this is going to be contested.
Could I hide in plain sight?
Yeah, go ahead and give me that one extra.
Yeah, for sure. No, nothing on that. So
Okay,
just
so
the one.
What's plus composure? These guys are security guards, so their roll's a little bit higher than usual.
Oh.
You are not able. They are short of like hand on shoulder. They are that close to you.
Fair enough.
So, I would say that leaves your option with trying to just ditch the eye on the floor, so to speak, and just leave it up to Izzy to do the rest. You're not going to be able to place her in any place that they're not going to actively see you place something there. But maybe just emptying a pocket or something, you could maybe get away with that. It would still be dexterity plus larceny, but at a -2.
Okay, so I'll willpower that to put it back up to 6, and
It'd be -2.
Because they're watching.
yeah, but
Yeah.
so -2, and
Yeah.
then plus 3, so +1.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
One success. I'm 6.
You like them ones.
All right. So you are able. I'm still using not the previous perception, but they don't see the eye or hear the eye fall to the floor. And with that, you make your way out.
Back to the elevator, yes. Just hoping that Izzy can like roll that eye around.
Don't get stepped on.
You. And with that, we're gonna go ahead and move over to Kant and... Well, yeah, we'll start with Kant. See, Kant and Maven, are you guys together or are you guys separate?
A good question.
I suppose that entirely depends what schemes Maven is trying to accomplish, and if they are similar to my own.
Maven is trying to get a general overview of pretty much every company, that way he has at least a general knowledge of each of them before really diving into a couple of them that sound interesting.
I mean, I could see myself doing the same, trying to figure out where I can get ins at. Obviously, I was already pushing Utopia now, but, you know, it doesn't hurt to have options open. But the question is how are we doing that, other than just, like, a Google search? we can, call every branch office, I guess. That seems like a bad idea.
Like, hi, what do you do? What kind of business are you?
Don't think that would go over extraordinarily well. Just GM tabletop talking here.
Nonsense. What do you mean? We should just call up every company and say, hey, do you have any security vulnerabilities?
So, would you also like to look into Utopia now, Maven?
Does it sound interesting? Does Kant make it sound interesting?
I mean, they got like their own town.
And supposedly this town flies.
Yes.
Oh yes, they put rockets on
some
Catalina, right?
Offshore, island town or whatever. Some app that I don't know about.
Which is how they...
Flying island town sounds interesting.
So,
Floor is Utopia now on?
14th.
Is that on my list of floors? Let me check.
No.
It is not!
As stated, you have access to...
Up to the 13th and then 17th, okay.
Basically, you have access to the floors that Deva Corp actually owns. When it comes to another company's floor, that's generally where the line is drawn. And obviously, the higher security levels.
Right, okay. So Utopia now is another separate company sharing the building with Deva Corp.
Yeah. So, like, Butterfly Cryptozoology, you have access to their lobby, not their other floor, but you have access to their lobby because it's a subsidiary of Deva Corp.
Okay.
This one is its own complete separate company.
Well, I mean, the question to be posed is there something you're looking for on that floor specifically? Like, I mean, do we need to try to break in right now?
No, not really. I rarely need to break into any place. Usually I'd let other people do the walking in for me, and they'll have their look around, and then I see what they see. Although that'll usually take a day, obviously.
Yeah. Well, we have plenty of time. Time is something that is infinite. But barring this kind of cooperation, after the phone call from last session, I would have, well, whenever I left the building for the day, kind of passed off the message to the, cultists are a strong word with some connotations that, we don't appreciate in this company. But
That's fair.
pass that message off and just, hey, apply. You figure it out amongst yourselves which one of you have, who has applicable skill sets, but I want someone in.
All right. Let me see here. Do they have a specific dice pool that they use?
Yes. I mean, Control F again. I think officially, per the merit, they give, like, generalized merit dots. Why can't I have an index? That would be so nice.
Yeah, that's the one thing I don't like about this book.
It's because the index is actually in the main Chronicles of Darkness book. Because this is that weird 1.5 edition where it was split between two books still. Ridiculous. How many dots do you have?
4. So, yeah. So, 2 dots. Yeah, the cultists are capable of providing support equal to resources 3, allies 3, or staff 3 once per story, etc. Once per chapter, the demon can call on the cult for knowledge, gaining +3 to the roll that the cult can conceivably assist with. And the others are just like tiers of how willing are they to break the law, basically.
Yeah, they are to the point where they'll commit murder for you.
Yeah, essentially, I don't know if what I'm calling on them to do is a function of the cultist merit or, sowing narrative seeds then for later taking like a dot of contacts or whatever here,
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna make this a roll. But it is 100% something they'd be willing to do. It does take probably 2 to 3 weeks for them to get hired on, though.
Of course. Checks. I'm just telling them get working on it. Like I expect, I expect progress.
What results?
So, while Kant is off that night, speaking with his cultists, would Maven be joining, or would Maven be doing something else?
This is nighttime?
Yes, this would be the night after that week. Let's just say the first day after that week time skip.
Okay.
Essentially, this is also the same time that Praxis and Iz are doing their break-in of Blackfire.
Right. Okay, well, my cover's not scheduled to be working during the night, so no reason for her to show up at work. And Maven doesn't like to do things out of order like that. Like, if there's no reason for the cover to show up at a place, he's not going to have that cover show up at that place.
There is always the option of creating I believe the term is legend.
How does that work? Sounds fun.
Barring blah blah blah, demon doesn't actually. Hold on. Making sure. So, barring her initial God Machine created cover, a demon doesn't actually assume any of the skills or connections she might need to convincingly portray her new identity. For some covers, like Office Temper Janitor, that might not be a terrible obstacle, especially since the demon's eidetic memory, blah blah blah. But a cover, the safest option, of course, is to put... Oh, it's explaining... It's explaining a little bit more than what you need to know at this point. If anybody has legend,
I just need a TLDR because I did not TLDR.
Basically, a legend. Go ahead.
It lets you generate a skill or merit so that if you don't have it and it would be relevant to your current identity, you can spend ether to generate it.
Oh,
okay.
You could basically generate fake skills or merits.
My bad.
That then vanish at the scene.
I thought there was another cover that could it would be like a very temporary cover.
No, that's why I want another cover.
Okay.
Which is why after I get done telling my cult to go do what I want them to do, I'm going to the bar and harassing people for their identities.
Okay, so then ignore what I was talking about, because I completely misread some section somewhere about legends.
Yeah, I thought there was some way to get a temporary cover. I think there's a couple of ways, but...
There's a couple embeds that can give you, like, temporary cover dots, like Occam's Razor, I think is the one. But that only applies for, like, compromise rolls for, like, exploits and stuff.
And I've already got 10 cover, so...
How do you have 10 cover, you cheater?
Everybody has 10 cover.
I thought we had 7 cover.
No,
You have 7 Primus.
I
Or
thought you start with 7 cover.
Primum.
everybody's cover is cover 10.
Okay, never mind. I didn't listen.
Okay,
Alright.
well, in that case, Maven doesn't have any plans for the night, but the next time they go into work, I would like to make use of a couple of merits. Resonance sensitive.
What does that do?
So when opening my senses to the ether, I don't need to spend ether to activate it, and so that's on page 174, or no, 184. So basically it's like keeping the senses open for ether and essence use. Is there anything God machine-y or something like that going on?
You go blind.
I go blind.
In other words, this place lights up so brightly that you legit just can't. It's an entire mess.
It's a feel, so it wouldn't be sight. So it'd be like it would be different for each demon. So we'll say static.
Yeah. Let's just say.
The answer is yes.
Yeah. Like I have no other way to. I have no other way to say this.
Here? Yeah.
Yeah.
Where is it they're being ether?
Yeah, that's the most alarming thing, so to speak, and it's probably one of the reasons why the ring focused in on this.
Yeah.
To be fair,
Okay, so I assume I would have noticed that earlier because
give
I
me a
didn't read that.
roll though. I think it would be. It's not a specific roll here, but give me composure plus. I think occult. Yeah, composure occult.
Interesting roll. Okay, I can do that. Composure occult. 2 successes.
So, yes, you would be aware of this a little bit earlier. However, what this roll now is Maven is attempting to focus it, so to speak.
Right.
Now, skyscrapers are not 100% open spaces. There's a lot of support structure within them. It's mostly coming from the spaces, for lack of a better term here, in between the walls. Basically where the support structures are. It's almost as if the center of the building itself is, for lack of a better phrase here, is a massive thing of infrastructure.
Ooh. Neat. Okay. So the whole thing is infrastructure.
There's also other minor pings, but they feel weird. The thing in the center is exactly what you would expect. The other things are just not quite right. Their infrastructure, you can tell their infrastructure, there's just something off about them. It would be at this time that probably Maven would remember one of the main rumors that they had heard is that certain
Artificial infrastructure.
Yes, that they make infrastructure. Supposedly.
So it seems like there's at least a grain of truth to that rumor.
Or something.
Something similar, at least. Interesting. Are any of those weird feelings as I'm going throughout the day on like one of my floors? I can get maybe a better look at it?
No.
No. Okay.
It's not. They're either, let's see, what floors? Most of those are going to be on that floor and that floor.
Of course, yes. That floor.
My favorite floors.
They feel the closest whenever you're on the 40th and 46th floor. And again, they feel relatively close when you are... I just lost it. The 51st floor.
Okay. So it's in between those. Okay. Well, that sounds like another use for my ability that lets me see what other people see.
That being said, Kant, is there anything else you would want to do during this, the next couple of days that Maven is poking around these things of infrastructure? At this point, this would also all be, just as a reminder, this is all being shared amongst each other, unless you specifically say, I do not share this.
Yeah. Like I was saying, I think Kant's main point of work concern at the current moment is the lack of backup covers. So yes, he's starting to get things in motion to infiltrate the company, but I'm also gonna try and start building another patchwork cover. Attempting to do it fairly isolated from the company. I don't want to take stuff from people who work here, and that's how you.
So, is there a specific role, or should I just give you a role?
I mean, essentially, I am going to be going to places where there may be some downtrodden people, possibly inebriated, not really thinking great, where I can steal their face.
So, I feel like
I'm
this...
going down to the bar to look for the depressed guy, saying that he's ugly. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll make you look better. Give me your face.
Thank you.
So give me manipulation plus... Oh, this is... subterfuge. There's no way that this isn't a manipulation plus subterfuge. You're tricking people into signing away parts of their soul. I will say for each success, you get one trait. So that you get 2 traits here. You can decide whatever they are. I'm not particular on that. So if you want somebody's face, you've got somebody's face now.
Well, I mean, like I was discussing with you probably weeks ago now, I mean, I guess I just need, a person first. So, face and body shape, I guess, might be the most critical aspects there.
Framework can start putting things on.
Yeah. It means that you're probably getting somebody that's relatively fat, wanting a better body.
Sure, I'll make you lose weight real quick.
So,
don't say a word of this, or I'll kill you.
Is having your eye planted and Praxis leaving the building. What is next for you?
Can my eye roll?
I don't suppose
It's so hard.
I don't suppose anybody looked at that while other things were going on.
No.
I didn't expect Slade.
Looked at what? Were we supposed to look something up? Sorry.
If her detached body parts could move.
I guarantee you it probably does not mention it, and it's probably your call.
Give me one moment. Is that a technology, or what is that exactly?
So, on my thing, it says detach any individual limb at each joint, including the torso. Each limb, well, that's a limb. That's not. Which one is it?
No, it would be that, but I said that it was fine that it was an eye.
Okay.
Yeah, he's already made that ruling.
It's under full control. It's just what controls the eye movement. Let me ask the nurse.
What controls eye movement? The muscles around your eye. Your eye doesn't actually have any
Around my
muscles in it.
eye?
So,
Technically, yes, there are muscle. You have a little like tendon or whatever that pulls the eye in each direction, and that's how you move your eye around.
so, trigger warning, this is going to be a little bit of body horror. I would say that the eye comes with those muscles. So, like, instead of
little
like
legs.
actual muscles, it's more like wiring, etc. So yeah, it's essentially on like spindly wire legs.
It's a daddy long leg with eye.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yay! So there goes my eye. It's rolling. Is it on the floor?
Yes.
That's where he dropped it, right?
Yeah, he could only quickly like, oh, I need to get something from my pocket. Oh, it fell out and rolled underneath something, you know. Oh, I'm not gonna get that. That's not important. It's a gum wrapper. Type deal.
Right, excellent. Okay, so I'm rolling out slowly. What do I see? I'm looking up.
This is one of the storage facilities. So a lot of it is glass containers, metal containers, box containers, sometimes animal cages with weird chimeric looking animals in them. Like,
There's animals in there?
yeah, these are all storage facilities. This is very clearly a storage facility of some sort.
With chimeras in it?
Not, when I say chimera, I don't mean like the big ones. We're talking like a spider monkey mixed with a parrot type deal.
That's still strange. That's not normal.
However, speaking of the monkey parrot hybrid thing, it watches you specifically. And like even when you go behind something and you peek out, it's looking at directly where you are. No matter what you do, you cannot break its, I don't want to say line of sight, but you can't hide from it, it seems like. That becomes apparent very, very quickly.
Yeah, the eye is kind of like moving side to side to see if it's actually following me.
Oh yeah.
So weird. Okay.
It's not making any noise or anything, but it...
Huh. Thank you for not making any more noise. Strange animal. Well, I guess I just roll on through, see if I see anything else that's strange, but I mean, chimeras are pretty strange to me. I'm not gonna act like, oh yeah, this is so normal.
Why don't you give me a stealth plus dexterity? Because obviously, there are patrols that come by on a regular basis.
Okay. Also,
Matter
are
of
there
fact-
any cameras?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna try to-
If you want to burn willpower, might be the time to do so.
And then you said stealth plus composure?
No, dexterity.
X. No. X. Stealth. Stealth. And then roll. 2 successes.
The patrols are very regular. They don't ever miss a beat. They're always on time, so they become predictable. Not hard to dodge around. Also, the cameras are in very fixed positions, so there are blind spots, which allows you to move around if somewhat limitedly, without worrying about being caught.
Okay.
Every
For the... Oh, go ahead.
I would say at 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. One of the elevators, it's a larger elevator, opens up into this floor, and they either transfer things in or out. Most of the time, it's both. So it very clearly, stuff is stored here, brought out of storage whenever needed, and then put back into storage.
I want to specifically follow if they're taking the chimeras somewhere.
They would, so you want to... I'm going to need actually another dexterity stealth roll if you want to hitch a ride on that elevator.
Okay.
And where are you hitching the ride exactly?
Well, if they're like putting it in one of those trolley
Okay.
things.
So like on the underside?
Yeah. I'm gonna roll under it and just roll with it. Sorry.
Really, we had to go with that pun?
Don't you roll your eyes at me?
Okay, 3 successes.
Okay. So, as you kind of watch from the underside, you see that the button that is being pressed is floor 47.
37?
47, so 47.
40.
And as...
Is that one of the rooms that I don't have access to?
Oh, yeah. Nobody here has access to it.
Score.
You're on your own.
The elevator opens up, and what you see is a menagerie. This place is very clearly a research lab mixed with a zoo. They have things that look like gigantic bipedal apes. They have humans that have the wings of a moth. They have something that looks like a tiny little imp creature. It is disturbing. You would be aware. All of these creatures are cryptids. I would say that definitely your Unchained have been on the world long enough to know what cryptids are. Every single one of these is a cryptid. Which, for those, humans aren't the only beings that are changed by encounters with the God Machine. Animals make up a large branch of it. Let's just say they are animals mutated by ether. Just for like a quick TLDR, quick and dirty explanation. And those that are currently in cages and not on operating tables are, well, they are doing their best to try and escape. Those that are on research tables, let's just leave that to one's imagination. The experiments in here are brutal and unpleasant.
So other than the creatures, is there also like researchers there?
Oh yeah.
Lab technicians? Okay.
Yep.
I want to obviously I want to be out of sight. But I also want to activate an ability where I can tune in, like if they have cameras or if they're documenting anything on the mic. I want to use my radio frequency to listen in if there's anything that might be picked up on a mic. If that's available.
Let me confirm. That's one of your demonic forms?
Yes. It's Radio Suite.
Oh.
So
can you activate? I don't think you can activate more than one, and you're already using one.
Oh, okay.
I think you can be one at a time. Although I don't remember actually reading that, to be honest, so.
Because partial transformation. Because I know there's a merit that allows you to do 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let me just confirm that merit.
I have that merit. It's called Versatile Transformation.
And
It lets you activate more for cheaper. You can always activate more than just one demon. In
right.
partial transformations, it's
1 ether per. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's another point of ether spent, and I need another compromise roll.
Okay.
Plus whatever ones you have left.
Yes. So, I think it was plus 12, so this would be plus 11 this time. No, so. So it would be 21 dice, because last time she rolled 22.
Like that.
Yep, so roll 21 die.
It's simple roll?
Simple roll normal, yep. And then you just type in 21 as the modifier.
6?
Successes. Exceptional success does what for demonic form? I will eventually start to remember that. Oh, no, this is a compromise roll. I have... I do not have that marked. Okay. I know you regain a point of willpower. So...
Okay.
Now just to confirm what that ability does. Sorry, this is a little bit of like, okay, what does this ability actually do? Radio suite.
is it on?
Really?
Mastery over radio signals. Tune into all broadcasts with perfect clarity. Radio transmission, either voice or anything can hear over the frequency. Okay, so there wouldn't be necessarily radio transmissions coming out of this place. Anything that they would be transmitting would probably be digitally. So you're not getting any radio signals or anything like that. I mean, there is sometimes a radio frequency that you do pick up, but it's more from the outside going in. Somebody's listening to the radio, essentially.
Well, I would assume also probably security, since they use
I agree with that. However, it's not, if that is the case, it's not being used at this moment.
Okay. Okay. Anyone that I recognize?
No. Nobody here is of any recognition to you. However, I would also want to state I'm gonna need another stealth check. The reason for this is because as soon as you entered the room, every single one of these cryptids that were not actively being worked on are looking directly at you.
So am I rolling because they're looking at me, or am I rolling?
Yes, essentially now it's more the researchers are going to start catching on. Why are all these things looking at this one area? So now you need to start.
Oh, okay. The creatures are looking at me.
Yes.
Dang it! Don't rat me out.
You're gonna get ratted out by a rat. An actual rat.
With wings or something like.
As you try to make a move to a different location, you realize all of a sudden you're not moving anymore. Well, at least you're not moving backwards or forwards. You're moving up. And eventually you get turned upside down as what looks to be, as you see the uniform of a security guard picks you up and starts looking at you.
It's probably not the weirdest thing in there.
Well...
Dang it, and I can't hear anything. I could probably see lips moving.
Yeah.
Can I read lips?
You should be able to. That's technically language, right?
Yeah, you would know how, because of the way the memory works and your ability to speak any language, you would know how. Yeah, so technically, yes, in a roundabout way, yeah. Looks like we've been bugged, everybody.
I'm not a bug. I'm not.
All right, we're gonna have to place the building on lockdown as we attempt to figure this out.
I'm part of the monkey. No.
And then you see him reach out in the corners of vision. You see him take what looks to be a very large Bowie knife.
Oh no.
And he goes, okay, I know I've got to be careful with this because I don't want to damage the internals, but... And then he jams the knife straight into what would be the lens, essentially. And starts to take the knife and basically... He is being exceedingly careful not to try and actually damage the internal mechanisms, but he's definitely cutting it open, so to speak.
Yeah, well, he has to roll to make sure he doesn't.
Yes, I'm gonna roll.
And my eye is moving frantically to make sure he gets a penalty too, okay? Because I'm not just... My eye isn't just chilling there, okay?
Normally this would be a strength weaponry, but because of the nature of it, this is gonna be dexterity.
Could
My eye
be.
is also a muscle, so I am resisting, dang it. Resisting!
Resist.
I don't think
I
you're...
didn't know that. I was just like, couldn't it be like, oh, did somebody lose an eye?
You have
understand that these are like paranoid supernatural security guards. Do you think this hasn't happened before?
And he is very determined to do it, so I'm gonna have him burn a point of will.
No, he's not determined.
Oh my.
And we'll get back to the consequences of that exceptional success when we come back from break.
No!
You have just finished listening to this week's episode of Demon the Descend, Frayed Wires, part of the Domain Gaming's Contagion anthology, written and told by Wyverian. A special thanks to you, the listener, and if you wish to continue supporting us, subscribe, like, and share. As always, comments are welcome. Until the next chapter, don't stop asking yourself, what does one do if the slaver is the key to one's survival?